My name is Kenneth Fogarty, and I'm from the town of Guilford, which is not Sydney, but it's your neighbor right up the road. I would like just to speak very shortly about the DEC and its ability or willingness or desire to perform the role that we've heard that they are capable of tonight. I do know that Amphenol is in Sydney, and I also know that the new well on Route 8, Hanahan number 1 well, is in Guilford. And I got interested in that particular well since I had heard that it was in an archaeologically sensitive area. So I called DEC and inquired about if there had been a study. It was my misunderstanding at the time that oil and gas industry was exempt from such a study. DEC said to me, oh no, before we would permit it, we had to have proof that there was a sensitivity study. And the DEC employee volunteered to send me a letter from the parks, historical parks. Well, the letter arrived and it said there was no concern, it was not in an archaeological sensitive area. And then my eye drifted over to the edge of this letter, and I noticed that DEC believes that the Hanahan well that is in Guilford, and Guilford is in Shenango County, they believe that that well, the Parks Department believes that that well is in the town of Sydney and in Delaware County. Well, this concerned me because I thought maybe their database, the red flag, did not go up if they gave it the wrong address. So that made me look at the other data that I had. And oh yes, I did get a call back from Parks on this issue, and they said to me that the address they use is provided to them by the company. In this case, it was Gastem, and they use that as their measure of what they look at. And then they return it to DEC with the expectation that DEC would vet this information. They thought it was a very awkward and cumbersome way of doing it, but that's the current way, and they have submitted SGIS comments asking that it be changed and tightened up. Well, then I decided to look at the other information that I had in my portfolio. There's the unit spacing map that the company submits to DEC. It was duly stamped by the Bureau of Mines, or whatever it's called, in the DEC. And I guess in their eagerness to move it along, it did not bother them that the other address that was on this one, there are 3 addresses. One is in Sydney, of course, in Delaware County. The true one is on Route 8 in Guilford. But this one, which was stamped and approved and gave them license to begin the drilling, places the Hanahan well on Route 12, which is not in Route 8. It's 15 miles away and parallel. So I just point this out, that if DEC is evidently, and you can look at the paperwork and go up the road and look at the well, it's only a short distance from here. But if DEC is not able to get this kind of correct address on permits and correct locations of wells, what assurance do we have that they're able to do or want to do the other important parts of the task? So I'm not confident that DEC is, for reasons not fully known to me, is able to perform or is told to move things quickly. We can all speculate, but I don't have confidence in DEC's ability, and I would encourage you to seriously consider a moratorium until you looked at these kinds of issues very carefully. There is another well. The other well is in Oxford, which apparently Gastem believes Oxford is in Broome County. It is not in Broome County, it is in Shenango. We have heard speculation from several supervisors that maybe this mislocation is done deliberately because if you're in Broome County, you're closer to a pipeline, and these companies that are very near bankruptcy could then be encouraging shareholders to invest more money, because after all, this is a very wonderful asset. It's right near a pipeline, Oxford in Broome County. But Oxford, of course, is in Shenango County. So,
it has something to do with, like, maybe people living in the town of Sydney and having a unifill address, and
No, I inquired that. The address of Gas Thames Well up here, Hanahan Well, is Mount Upton, which is one of the subdivisions. The post office is in the Shenango. So there was no confusion like that. But I had in the back of my mind, gee, 30 years from now when they're trying to find these ghost wells, of which 30,000 of them there are, they could be leaking, etc. How are they going to find them if they have the wrong addresses? I mean, and if they're understaffed. So anyhow, thank you very much for listening.